where do I start? I'm an emotional, taking in your sweet and considerate heart. Come into my world, give me your spark. Time to land and visit the planet. Give me your try. Still wanna make you sure I'm the reason to come back here. Just don't linger too much, 'cause you're a stranger, baby. So come get to know me. Don't be a stranger now. Station, meet me at bay number 3. Can you kiss me in the dark? I'm wanting you.
Wyatt Tinsley sends it to the outside. He can't get there. Kevin King is going to win the Bar-Bissell FTF Cup Series.
Into the lead. Bud gets wrecked in front of the pack. He saves it. 3-4 wide as they come to the white flag.
Here comes Vargas down on the apron. They are 5 wide. Ian Platt will win it at the line. Is this package? Oh, there goes Jordy Lopez Jr. That's your race leader. Caution flag is out.
Still no one willing to give up as they are going to be dead even off of the first chicane.
Oh, he saves it. What's going to happen here? Here comes the canvas. Oh, the canvas sends him. Get your front there.
He's got it. He's got it.
Canvas is in. FTF.GG, in association with Core, welcomes you to the Core Summer Series, presented by SimRatMarket.com. Tonight, it's the David Schildhouse will wreck you to win this exhibition event, live from the virtual Charlotte Motor Speedway in Concord, North Carolina. Hi, everybody. I'm Jacob Pitts. Thanks for having us in for the race. We are officially halfway through the Summer Series this year. 3 races down and 3 races to go as far as points-paying races are concerned. Tonight, though, before we head on vacation to celebrate July 4th and the birth of American freedom, we get to have a little bit of fun. It's a non-points race, an exhibition event here from Charlotte. Tonight's race, anything but familiar. The format, different from seasons past. The cars are different from seasons past. The difference, though, is the fact that, well, the drivers are the same and we're still here at Charlotte, which makes things a lot of fun as well. But before we get too far ahead into what's upcoming tonight, and before we start thinking about the fireworks and hot dogs we'll be seeing next week, let's take a look back at the fireworks from last week's race. And things got spicy toward the end of last week's race from Kansas. Here are the highlights. We're actually going here. Travis got caught back up. We did not have to extend it. We are going green. Green-white. The initial start of the FTF.GG 150. We're racing in Kansas. And he's going to lose a ton of time. Stuck up against the outside safer barrier. Oh, trouble cozies around. Off turn 2. Sliding it down on the apron. We stay green. It's single car.
This is what Core is all about for all these cars right here. This is about 8 cars right under a blanket all together, running 3 wide, all for second place. Harry Tiller right now trying to finish them all off. David Schildhouse getting close to his inside. A little bit of a wiggle out of Harry. Looks like they're going to keep it straight for right now, but that's going to open the door for Schildhouse to get to the outside of Tiller.
Here comes Frisch to pit road. Sean's going to join him, and Frisch way missed pit entry. Sean's going to spin and crash into the wall. Black flag for speeding, and now damage to the front end of the 32.
And he hit it very square on the front end of that race car. We've heard for the past 2 weeks that can cause major aero issues for you.
This is a battle for the championship behind with McCandless and Frisch, but off turn number 4 to the checkered flag. Race number 1 belongs to David Schildhouse. First win of the Core Summer Series presented by SimRatMarket.com. See what happens. Race number 2 is green, and whoa, what is Harry Tiller doing up the middle? They're 3 wide, they're 4 wide to turn 1.
Oh, it's going to get crazy here. Still 4 wide, going all the way up against the wall. And this is right around your championship leader, Blake McCandless. Tag the wall, so is
Trouble.
through.
1 car round, it's Gabe Wood. And Ian Plash about drop kicked him. Here we go for the restart. Rusty's gone, green flag, and DT spun the tires. That could open up the door for Wes Graham. Here comes Cozy, 3 wide on the outside. Mom, get the camera. Rusty's leading them by 2 car lengths to turn 1. Oh, trouble, DT around. Off the bumper of Cadell. Going and Case Kallenbach in the wall as well. Caution is out for the 2nd time tonight. He just drove it in really, really deep. LaPrad's in the wall again. There's contact. Into the wall, McCandless again, and now Champagne gets turned. Frisch goes around. Vargas gets damaged. Melillo nowhere to go. Caution with 11 laps to go.
And
we will have 7 laps to go to settle it here in Kansas. Strap yourself in. I mean, you can finish. Cozy spins the tires. He hits McCandless. Oh my gosh, Cozy's upside down into the wall. Half the field is wadded up on the front straightaway, including Connor, Daly, and more. A horrific restart crash. And I haven't seen a flip on a restart like that, I don't think, ever. Outside of Alfredo flipping in turn 1 here.
that has to be it up front. I mean, that's I'm
And he will. Will he be able to put 1 lap together to catch the 19? White flag, no. Trouble. In the wall. Dylan Kim with Cadell and Gabe Wood. And we'll have another caution, and David Schildhouse's race may be saved. He may have a shot. But it's all over. Briar LaPrade, he'll pick up his first win of the Core Summer Series and will win race 2 of the FTF.GG 150 in Kansas.
And what a pair of races here from Kansas is, big hit for Brian LaPrade. No burnout for him as he is a hard crash. Oh man.
Turbo wreck. And by now you have seen the crash that rattled the second race from Kansas, either in that highlight pack we just rolled or on social media earlier today, or you saw it live last week involving Michael Cozy Jr., David Schildhouse, and about half the field coming together. And boy, if you missed it, we'll play it one more time for you with a little bit of context, what led up to it, and why Cozy was pointing fingers right after the crash. Take a look.
This close at the end of the race, looks like Brian LaPrade going to be able to beat Michael Cozy Jr. off the pit lane.
No, we didn't. He didn't. iRacing gives it to Cozy on pit exit. I'm not sure what the line is. I'm not sure which line it is. But LaPrade beat Cozy to all 3 of them.
Yeah, and even race control comes over and says that should be Briar.
I mean, it's not even close.
Not even.
Well, and LaPrade, remember, he had a lot of damage. He used his fast repair, and I'm surprised that he still was able to win the race off the pit lane.
Oh, no, they're going to give it to Briar.
They are going to put it, well, there you go. 7 laps to go to settle it here in Kansas. Strap yourself in. I mean, you can finish. Cozy spins the tires. He hits McCandless. Oh my gosh, Cozy's upside down into the wall. Half the field is wadded up on the front straightaway, including Connor, Daly, and more. A horrific restart crash. And I haven't seen a flip on a restart like that, I don't think, ever.
This is your fault, Ben.
Cozy, after looking like you were going to dominate that race, what do you think happened there to send you upside down on your lid?
Well, the race control took me out of the lead. I said I won the race off pit road, but they still let P2 around me, and I got wrecked for it and ended up on my lid. So probably could have went back out there, but I'm done. We will be seeing.
After last week's debacle, Race Control Ben Easterday shuffled some things around. We did make a rule change for the remainder of the season, and it looks like this. Green flags and restarts, well, everything will be on the green flag. The leader will not have control heading into the zone. It will not be their call. That's part of the reason why that contact happened. Briar LaPrade, he was the controlled car. He was letting David Schildhaus know, hey, I'm going 3, 2, 1, go. Schildhaus went, ran Cozy over. We made the rule change, so every green flag from here on out is on Barney the Flag Man. Makes life easier a little bit for the admins and hopefully for the drivers. We'll see that tonight. On to tonight's festivities. As I mentioned from the top, a new format and a new car for tonight's race. We'll go over the format a little bit later, but heats and an alphabet soup before we get to a main race tonight. Field sizes going to be smaller throughout because of dividing everything up with heats and through the soup. The admins went to work on finding an alternative to the radical races that we've put on these last couple of years. Last year, it wasn't so radical. A radical SR8 just wasn't the same, so we decided to change things up. We were adding a lot of stock to this year's exhibition race. The street stock is what we're using tonight. Let's take a look back at what we saw last year, at least as far as the finish is concerned, and this may help explain why this race is named the David Schildhaus Will Wreck You for the Win exhibition race.
We're actually going here. Travis got caught back up. We did not have to extend it. We are going green. Green-white checker, attempt 2.5, I guess, out of infinite. Green flag. Let's see if we can do this. They're wrecking. Briar did not get going. He got drop-kicked by Champagne. Those two are parked in the restart zone. The field's rocketing to turn 1.
Schildhaus moves up into the second spot. He's got Travis Brown in tow.
Oh, no, Blake.
Canless,
Horrible crash.
I don't think we're going to try and stay green.
And we are down the backstretch. If they get the white flag, we're committed. I don't know if they're going to make it that far.
It's going to take something big here to bring out a caution, but we might just get it right now. Justin and Cozy on that outside lane trying to go, but I think we're going to get there to the white flag.
This is the last lap. 1 lap to go in the Core All-Star race.
Outside lane stalling out. Nothing for Schildhaus and Huffman. Travis Brown pulls clear.
There goes Milillo.
Couple of cars go around. Now it's a 5-car breakaway for the win. Who's going to make that move and who's going to time it right?
Here they come down the backstretch to turn number 3. Everybody looking for the apron. More trouble. Joey Stone gets turned around. Here they come through turn 4. Frisch is blinking again. More trouble behind. Here comes Schildhaus. He won it this way last year. Can he do it again in the grass? The answer is no, maybe.
Travis!
Huffman got it. No, Schildhaus got it by 1. It's at 1/1000th of a second. Schildhaus goes back to back in almost a tie. Are you kidding?
He turned him.
I cannot believe.
What did I say? Huffman was going to get turned at some point tonight, but I didn't know it was going to be then.
The Cone Monster is the Landon Monster. David Schildhaus back-to-back in the Core All-Star race at Charlotte. What a finish.
And we're joined now by the race sponsor himself. We'll pull the man on up. The reigning champion of this race. He's won it back-to-back, technically speaking at least. He's won back-to-back All-Star races here from Charlotte, the defending series champ as well. David Schildhaus joins the program, and as we saw, you effectively killed a guy to win the race last year, so that's why it's called the race that it is tonight. But a new car, we step away from the radical into the street stock. That's going to add a different element to tonight. A little bit slower speeds. They're going to be bunched up more together. Plus, you're going to have less cars on the racetrack with this new format.
Yeah, Jacob, I don't care what car we're in, how fast or slow we're going, or what sort of formation. It could be the Flying V from Mighty Ducks. I don't really give a heck. I will wreck somebody to win this race. That's why it's called what it is. I proved it last year. Even though I didn't wreck Justin 2 seasons ago, I still took his ass to the grass and beat him. So I was just sitting here talking with my chat, joking that I was just going to use inspiration from Chad Chastain over the weekend of Chastaining our poor race team. Not once, but twice. and just sort of use that as my bar for performance or how I treat people on the racetrack tonight. And I think that should work. We got a great paint scheme. Don't know if you've showed off the paint scheme yet.
No,
But you should.
I don't believe we have. We can work on that.
Unbelievable.
We'll see it.
Unbelievable. Oh, you'll see it. Hopefully with all 4 tires on the racetrack, not flipping and flying into row 17 of section Q.
Alrighty. Well, we'll see what happens, David. Best of luck, and we'll see you at the end of this deal, potentially. And good luck in open queue, the heats and all that. And
am I locked into this thing?
I don't think so because of the different step. I don't know. We'll figure all that out. We'll ask somebody that knows the answer to that. By the way,
I mean,
just something to keep in mind, the fact that you have won this race the last 2 years on an average of 15 10,000ths of a second. You beat Melillo in the grass by 2 1,000ths here 2 years ago, and you beat Landon by 1 1,000th last year. We looked it up so that way you don't have to. David, best of luck. We'll see you at the end of this deal. Coming up next, it is the longest race title I think I've ever had to read in my life. It's the David Schildhouse will wreck you to win this race exhibition event thing. We'll see you in a little bit. James Pike and Caleb Hoffman take you the rest of the way next here on FDF.GG.
Green flag, we're racing.
Let's freaking go! We won! Yes!
Good evening, race fans, and welcome to FDF.GG's coverage of the 4th round of the 2023 Core Summer Series presented by SimRapMarket.com. The David Schildhouse will wreck you to win this exhibition event live from the virtual Charlotte Motor Speedway in Concord, North Carolina. James Pike here to bring you all the action alongside Caleb Hoffman. And Caleb, first and foremost, this is an exhibition event, as the race title I think quite clearly states, but lots of fun little tweaks into this evening's action with Core.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's a completely different experience for Core. Just, last week we're at a completely new racetrack for the Core on iRacing. And the same thing here, where it's the same racetrack, but this format is completely new for us. These street stocks have never been tried for an exhibition race here. Obviously, traditionally are using the radicals. So a welcome change here. Can't wait to see the product it delivers on the racetrack.
Most importantly, as you see our drivers take part in group qualifying, that's another fun little twist tonight. Let's go over that format. I think that's the most important thing we need to touch on because it is not your standard double header. We'll have heat races that will be set up by the results from the 5-minute open qualifying that is currently taking place. 5 cars a heat, 6 laps in each heat. Winners advance to our feature race at the end of the night. Losers go into the alphabet soup, and you can see it there. We'll go from E to D to C to B, and at the end of it all, the winner will take all. So a little bit of a Chili Bowl style sort of event here, but should be a lot of fun. This is a combo, the street stocks in Charlotte, that if you've run ovals on iRacing, there's about a 99.9% chance you have run this combo at some point in your iRacing career. So it's one that everybody knows, but it races much more like what you see at the restrictor plate tracks when you compare it to some of the other action on the service.
Yeah, and it's going to be a fun challenge for sure. One thing that really is so important here is this group qualifying session, because if you get placed in that bottom tier, you're going to have to win every race for the rest of the night if you want to, walk out of here with a win in the exhibition event. So it's really fun, and I think puts a lot of pressure on winning here tonight, which I think is super important with an exhibition event like you see here.
Only our winners from our E, D, and C mains advance to the B mains. So it's going to be really interesting to see how people handle the heats. I don't necessarily think that qualifying in and of itself is going to kill you, but if you start in the back of your heat, you're going to want to make hay early because you do not want to finish outside of the top two like you at least alluded to, I would say, Caleb Hoffman. But also a different twist here. Yes, we have the street stocks as you get a good look at Garrett Smithley's machine, the Trophy Tractor street stock, but also a new car, as Jacob has mentioned. We have not run the street stock in core competition up to this point.
No, and again, right here, I think you see right here these guys not only qualifying, but just trying to test what they're going to be able to do here tonight. Like you said, it is going to be a restrictor plate style type of racing, where these speeds are a lot lower, so you're not going to have to lift whatsoever, and it really makes draft and aero super important here tonight. So that'll be another thing to monitor here at Charlotte.
Because these cars don't necessarily have a lot of power, that's the biggest thing that you look at when you look at the street stocks on a track this large. It's gonna be kind of bumper car-y, but it's also gonna be fun in that sense. You will see the draft come into effect. It will make a difference, and yeah, I think you're seeing it here in qualifying. If you can tuck up behind somebody, you're gonna have an opportunity to be a little bit quicker, a little bit faster, and potentially start further up in your heat.
Yeah, again, and you just see everybody testing the waters right now. Really looking at this top lane, going to be something to watch tonight. That top versus that bottom lane. Do you want to go up top where all that momentum, holds strong, or do you want to go to that inside, the shorter way around the racetrack? I think is going to be very important here tonight.
Qualifying is over. Let's go ahead and set the grid for this first heat. We'll have a lot of Eric Messer Photography Bolt Awards, but we'll take an eye here to our first grid of the evening presented by Alpha Prime Racing. Gabe Wood and Gary Owen on the front row. Fly Guy and Harry Tiller in row 2. And starting 5th for this first heat will be Case Kallenbach. Officially, Gabe Wood gets the Eric Messer Photography Pole Award, brought to us by our good friend Eric Messer, the official photographer of Bowman Gray Stadium and the Core Summer Series. Don't know if we're actually going to give the pole award to our heat winners or whoever starts the main, or it could be wonky, but we'll figure that out in due time. And lots of love to our friends at Alpha Prime Racing and to their man David Schildhouse, the presenting partner of tonight's race. Maybe one of the most fun race names that I think I have heard in a long time. This is officially the David Schildhouse Will Wreck You to win this exhibition event. That's it, Caleb. That's the name.
Yeah, and I mean, like we were showing in pre-race, it's proven true. Past 2 years, he will take you anywhere on this racetrack. Not even surfaces that are raceable to win these things. So a very appropriately named here. Another thing gonna have to keep in mind tonight. All of these events are super short. Collectively, they're gonna add up, but right here in this main, only gonna be a 7-lap event. So you're gonna have to get up to the front really fast if you're one of these guys like Fly Guy or Case Kallenbach.
Also worth noting, I talked to race admin Ben Easterday before we went on air, and he made the point to me, the weather is warm. Track temp is 125 degrees Fahrenheit. And he said that the admins made sure that it was as warm as possible so that both lanes would be as usable as possible, that this doesn't lock into a one-groove racetrack, and that the slickness allows that outside lane to come in a little bit. So the individual numbers don't necessarily matter so far as weather concerned in core, but it's the effect that they have on the racetrack. That is the key as we get set for heat number 1 to take the green flag. It was a slow jump from Gabe Wood, and here comes Fly Guy to the inside before we even hit the first kink in the leg of the hex oval. Caleb Hoffman, we are already racing for the lead. Lap 1, turn 1 of heat number 1.
Yeah, big jump on that start there from Fly Guy, and just no apprehension whatsoever. Case Kallenbach went with him, and you see already 3 cars on the bottom here. It's going to be up to Gabe Wood on this outside and going. if they want to hold strong here.
So you have Wood and you have going up top. You have Fly Guy, you have Kallenbach, and you have Harry Tiller there as Kallenbach got loose in the middle of the corner, and that will allow Wood to close up on the outside of Fly Guy, and he'll have a little bit of help from going to go 1-2 again. It was Wood who led at the line by 2/100ths of a second.
You see Gabe Wood going to try to clear Fly Guy there on that inside, going to successfully be able to pull that off. Whoa! Case Kallenbach there, big wiggle, and he saves it on the apron.
That was a big slide from Kallenbach, but he's got work to do now. You think that gap isn't necessarily so big, but he'll have to claw his way back into this. And remember, it is short heat races, 6 laps here top, so Kallenbach needs to get some sort of help. He may be out of contention for the race win. We may be seeing him in the alphabet soup, as that time by Fly Guy, your leader, by 4/100ths of a second, but it's Fly Guy, Wood, Tiller, and Goen locked together in the top 4.
Yeah, it's still side by side right here. Harry Tiller all over the back bumper. A Fly Guy looks like he's going to turn him.
There goes Fly Guy, and that may be the break that Kallenbach needed to get back into this thing, because that broke up the draft just a little bit. So Wood now back to the inside, in control over Tiller. Going still there too. Those 3 largely nose to tail. They can lock down top 3 spots if they just work together for a little bit here, but if they start racing each other, that could potentially bring Kallenbach back into this.
And after last week, Harry Tiller has enough of a target on his back, so not helping his own case there. He's on the back bumper of Gabe Wood right now, and we'll see if he's going to be able to get around him here on lap 4.
Still nothing doing between these top 3 now. Here goes Tiller to the middle. Gary Owen up top. Wood down low. 3 wide momentarily. Tiller's going to slide up top. The other thing I'm noticing here, Gabe Wood has been able to control his car a little bit better, but everybody on the inside really having to work the rear end of these cars to get them to turn. You can slide all over the place, and that's a byproduct of the track temperature being over 120 degrees Fahrenheit, Caleb.
Absolutely, definitely seeing some slipping and sliding around right now, but Gabe Wood still trying to hold his own on the inside right there. Just barely going to be clear of Harry Tiller, but doesn't have enough room to make a move here, so they're going to get side by side once again. Goen going to drop now to the inside behind Gabe Wood. Think better of it. It goes back to the outside with Harry Tiller.
I couldn't tell if Tiller doored Wood, but it was close. Those two almost maybe did make contact there. There goes Wood sliding up. He nearly comes across the left front of Tiller's machine. Here they come. White flag out on this first heat. It is a 3-car race. Kallenbach will have to pray for chaos amongst these front 3 to have a shot to win this thing.
Absolutely, and it's still Gabe Wood, Harry Tiller side by side. Gabe Wood has the advantage in the corner, but too much momentum on this outside. I think Goen's going to be the factor in this race on who wins, outside or inside. They're still side by side going into 3.
Oh, and tried to cut down underneath Gabe Wood, and Gabe Wood did a beautiful job to read that and move down to the inside at the right time. Tiller tries to side draft Owen. They might be 3 coming to the line, coming through the grass. Oh, Goen tried to make the move, and he gets into Harry Tiller. It's Wood who wins the heat. Going second, and Harry Tiller officially that finishes 3rd as they come across the line. We'll wait to see whether or not that is our outright official finishing order for that first heat. But it was Wood, Owen, Tiller, Kallenbach, and Fly Guy to the alphabet soup.
Absolutely. You'll see Flag Guy going to stop just short of the flag here. And so much fun in just that first heat right there. And I think it was honestly Gary Owen going down to the inside, giving that push to Gabe Wood that won him that race.
Would not be surprised if that was the case, as we will get set for heat number 2 and another Alpha Prime Racing starting grid as they begin to line up on the front stretch. Your grid for the second heat of the evening looks like this. Ryan Vargas, your pole sitter, ahead of Rusty Walrus. In the second row, it'll be drive-through Davin Cornelius and Sean M. Butler. And then Keenan Kusin, Aerotech, rolling off from the 5th position in this heat.
And you see pole sitter Ryan Vargas here, renumbered this week from his usual 26, now in the 23 machine, throwing back to himself. Kind of a flex right there for the rest of the core field. Rusty in his usual red and white colors. This will be a fun group right here.
Indeed. So, as we sort this out here, a reminder that your winner advanced to the features. So, Gabe Wood will be racing at the end of the night. Everybody else will be spread out across the B, the C, the D, and the E, depending on where they finish. So, with keeping that in mind, if you're doing the math, and after the way they came across the line, that would have Fly Guy in the E main, Collenbach in the D, Harry Tiller in the C, and Goen in the B. So if you're keeping track, where you finish is effectively equivalent to what main you start your journey to the feature from.
Absolutely. Want to try to get a quick word in here with one Rusty Waller starting on the outside pole there. Just quick, what are your thoughts going into this one?
Oh, I'm so confident. I'm ready, baby. We're coming in hot after leading one lap last week. I think we can get it done here.
Absolutely. We'll let you get back to it real fast, starting on the outside. That's Rusty Walrus, and again, just exuding confidence this week after leading his first career laps last week.
Indeed, indeed. We will see what Rusty can do. We will see what Keenan can do, what Sean can do, what Ryan Vargas can do. An eclectic mix of drivers in this second heat. And the David Schildhouse will wreck you to win this exhibition event for the Core Summer Series presented by Sim Wrap Market. Will we have as chaotic a start in heat number 2? Green flag is out, and it will be a little bit more orderly, so Vargas and Walrus will be the first two cars entering turn 1, but here comes Sean Butler through the middle to change things.
Yeah, big move from Sean Butler there to make it 3 wide. Rusty going to give him plenty of room, and still this inside lane fully formed together right now. Vargas drive through Keenan off turn number 2.
All eyes on Vargas with a block to the inside there. He saw what Cornelius was trying to do and then decided to keep him at bay. So that'll give Butler the outside. How well will these drivers adapt to controlling their cars on the inside lane? That, I noticed, was very key in the first heat. I think that's a theme we're going to see all night long. Butler rides that high line, and Sean Butler, leader of lap 1.
On contact right here between him and Vargas. You see Rusty Walrus trying to just thread both lines right now. He doesn't have a lot of time, and you got to be super careful to not have what happened in Case Collenbach happen where you lose the draft. So if you're going to stick in a line, you got to make your decision and not be indecisive about it.
It is impressive that Butler, for as much contact as he and Vargas made entering 1 last time, is still in the 3rd position. A little bit of a gap now developing to both Keenan Kusin and Rusty Walrus. Meanwhile, Vargas still in control of this, and DT is right there behind the 2 leaders, ready to pounce and make a move if they slip up.
And you see, once again, still holding strong on the outside here. It's, as you said, really impressive to watch Sean Butler just effectively utilizing this side draft and able to keep on with no drafting help really on his own. You have Vargas, who he just has drive-through right all over him, and Sean just hasn't had that luxury with Rusty.
Sean working the outside, Vargas working the inside, back and forth. Very much a yo-yo effect amongst those 2 lines, which may change. Now here comes Rusty Walrus to give a little bit of help to Sean Butler. First time we've seen him back up in the mix since the green flag dropped. Already halfway through this heat, and it is still Vargas, still Butler in front of this field.
Yeah, and you see how stable of a line that Ryan Vargas is holding there for drive-through to just be able to bump draft him all the way down the straightaway, even a little bit in the corner right here. And again, Sean Butler just hasn't really had that. As you see Rusty going all the way up to that 3rd lane up there, coming to 2 laps to go.
Rusty, I think, got tight on quarter entry there. Either that or didn't realize how much speed he was carrying with the draft and had to let off a little bit just to make sure he didn't wreck the thing. And still is there. He could help Butler if they can get back together. And then what does Keenan Kusin do? How does he respond to this? He's just been sort of sitting, waiting in the back here, but still all 5 cars together with a lap and a half to go.
Absolutely. Haven't really had any incidents thus far. We'll see if that changes going into turn number 3. Still side by side, and you see Vargas edging out just a little bit, but I think Sean Butler's going to get that run off 4.
Butler's going to have the big run. I think Butler's going to lead at the line. White flag out. Butler was ahead by 16 one-thousandths of a second. It is going to be tight here as they come through 1 and 2 for the last time in the second heat.
Watch how aggressive they're going to be. Ryan Vargas right here, but don't expect drive-through to make a move here underneath that line. Here comes Rusty. He's trying to make it 3 wide on Sean. Down the backstretch they come. It's still Ryan Vargas with the lead.
That group up top has room to make something happen, but they all got tight in the center of the corner, and Butler and DT, I think, are racing for second here as Keenan just goes full on into the grass to try and make it happen. They fan out across the line. Vargas by 7/100ths of a second.
And Keenan right there, the first time we've really seen anybody use that grass, which was so common with the Radicals. We'll see if that is a trend that comes through the night, but time to get restacked and ready to go for Heat 3.
And so we turn our attention to our third heat, our third Alpha Prime Racing grid here in the Core Summer Series presented by Simrat Market. Justin Melillo will start ahead of Champagne Racing. Justin Champagne, so an all Justin front row. Then Moonhead, Travis Brown, and Wes the Mess. Wes Graham roll off third and fourth. Michael P. Frisch starting in the back of this heat. This may be, just off of iRating, the most stacked of all the heats here we have tonight.
And again, going to be a lot of fun with a lot of fun names here. My eyes got to be on Michael P. Frisch starting all the way in the back, but don't count out guys like Wes the Mess. Justin Melillo here, obviously, has won in Core before, so should be a fun Heat 3 right here.
Really entertaining stuff. Two very different heats that we saw to open up tonight's program. The first, chaotic, people were turned. We didn't have all 5 drivers racing for a spot. You get to the second heat, everybody largely stays in the pack, stays together, and they were fanned out 5 wide if you count Keenan trying to use the grass there as a way to get ahead of everybody. But they were all there, right? So does this heat end up in the middle? Do we see it get a little bit nuttier? Are they more aggressive? Do you have a hunch? What's your crystal ball telling you, Caleb Hoffman?
I mean, just looking around right now, it almost feels unfair that we're going to be sending a few of these guys home later. I mean, again, I think this is the most stacked group, as you said earlier. I mean, just having to choose between Frisch and Moonhead and Wes, Champagne, even Justin all here. I mean, it's going to be tough here, but we'll have to get it whittled down.
That is the whole point of the heats here as we get set to go racing. A big thanks to all the partners that help make the Core Summer Series possible. FTF.GG, Soundhead Entertainment, MAT Liveries, Gabe Wood, Alpha Prime Racing, Eric Wesser Photography, Brayton Laster, Leargus Security, Splash and Go Graphics, and SimRapMarket.com. All the partners that help bring you the Core Summer Series for 2023. Justin Melillo to lead us to green ahead of Justin Champagne. Green flag is out. Melillo takes off, and an orderly start again in heat number 3, waiting to see who decides to make the move as they come up through the gears, but it is standstill rush hour traffic into turn 1.
A little bit of contact here between Champagne and Melillo. Melillo's actually washing up the racetrack right now. That's going to open the door for Travis. 3 wide for the lead as they go down the backstretch here on lap 1.
Do you like 3 wide? Do you like sandwiches? Do you like fun? Welcome to the Core Summer Series presented by Simrat Market as Melillo almost gets loose in the middle of the corner. You can see how much he's trying to hang on to it off that onboard camera of his rig. That wheel is all over the place.
and
As
Travis
almost got turned to the front of the field by Michael Frisch, who checked up just enough, and somehow Justin Melillo is going to come through the middle and give himself an opportunity to get back to the race lead after he nearly spun out last time by.
Not only how did Travis save that, but how did he keep the lead in all of it? Frisch all over Travis's back bumper right now. Justin Melillo and Justin Champagne on the outside as well. And still don't count out Wes the Mess. They are all over each other. 5 cars all under a blanket as Melillo almost gets turned.
How did he keep it off the fence? They are all over each other in heat number 3 as Charlotte Motor Speedway has come alive. Here comes a cut from Michael P. Frisch. Big block there from Travis, and then they get into each other on corner entry. Here comes Champagne to the inside, who's going to stick it underneath and make it work somehow to get second away from Michael P. Frisch. Melillo moves up to 4th, and Wes the Mess back to 5th.
Uses the apron, and Wes Graham with a fantastic save as well. And you see Travis all over the place trying to break draft from behind. Still, P. Frisch and Justin Champagne They are just beating and banging, beating the hell out of each other off turn number 4.
Theme of this heat is body roll. I have seen these chassis move all over the place and just about completely load up the size of these suspensions, and yet somehow they haven't found a way to wreck. Frisch and Travis gonna bounce off each other again. Champagne is right there, and they haven't killed each other yet.
Yeah, that's... I mean, it's coming for sure, but... Oh, and still trying to get 4 wide. You see Travis and Champagne using the apron, and that's been a theme in this heat as well, is that apron has actually had some speed in it. We saw Justin Champagne make a pass earlier, and he might try it later on. Coming to 2 laps to go, it's still Travis and Justin Champagne here on the inside.
Oh, Travis almost got turned by Champagne yet again as they bump draft down the front straightaway at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Frisch is still there on the outside. They might have calmed down just a little bit by comparison, but I still see rear ends wiggling all over the place. I still see loose race cars. I see Justin Malillo going down to the apron, and Wes the Mess is just sitting there as Michael P. Frisch tried to side draft Champagne and almost got sent up into the fence as a result.
These guys are absolutely bodying each other all over the place right now. Justin Champagne might try to get down to the inside underneath Travis, but he's doing a great job making that car wide. White flag. Who's going to get back here first?
Travis Brown in control of this heat. Champagne behind him. Malillo on the inside. Wes the Mess and Michael P. Frisch up top. Here they come out of turn 2 as second and third bounce doors off of each other behind Moonhead.
Still side by side. Can Michael P. Frisch do anything with Wes Graham's help? Little bit of contact. Still going down the backstretch. It's Travis Brown. I think it's his race to lose, but if anybody's going to do it, it's going to be Champagne.
Champagne to the inside, trying to get underneath Travis Brown. Travis is going to go to the inside. Champagne is going to get there. He's going to bounce off Michael P. Frisch. They are all going to wreck behind Travis Brown, who wins the heat. Champagne hung on to second, and then Malillo was able to get third out of all that in the wildest heat so far.
What a race for the win there, and it's Travis Brown.
Let's see if we can't get a word with old Travis Brown, wherever he might be. Travis, that was a wild heat race. What's on your mind?
What's up? That was cool. That was a lot of fun. I fully expected to wreck on the last lap, and I'd have deserved it from whoever turned me because I was really throwing some hellacious blocks. But that was fun. That was a lot of fun.
Did you all collectively go into it with the mentality that you were just going to bang doors the whole heat?
Not really, but I mean, it's an exhibition, so I'm here to have fun. So I was just, once I got to the lead there, I think Champagne and Malillo and Champagne, I think, got hung together on the first lap, and it just kind of handed me the lead. So once I was there, I was like, well, I got to hold it. So I was just going to do whatever it took to hold it or wreck.
Alrighty, well, Moonhead, we will see you in the feature. Congrats on the heat win. Best of luck a little bit later on tonight.
Oh, yeah, I appreciate it.
Travis Brown, winner of heat number 3. Here's your grade for heat number 4, presented by Alpha Prime Racing. Fitting that Alpha Prime Racing's own David Schildhouse will lead us to green, and then Garrett Smithley to his outside, Corey Vervinkt and Cisco Scaramuzza in 3rd and 4th, and Blake McCandlish rounding out the top 5. So you've got 2 drivers with lots of experience in the Xfinity Series or Xfinity teams, and then a very iRacing heavy trio between some of the folks on the production side of their broadcast and one of their announcers, Blake McCandlish, starting in the back, and a very small portion of Team Rick as well, which is represented between Cisco and then Keenan. So we've got half of Team Rick on hand tonight here for this fantastic David Schildhouse will wreck you to win this exhibition event. In the meantime, green flag out, and Garrett Smithley did not get the jump at all, so it's going to be Schildhouse well clear of everybody else. Feeling, is that carnivorous? Is that like a dinosaur, perhaps?
Yeah, looking right now, I mean, Corey Vervinkt had to fill that gap, but nobody really wanted to go with him. I'm kind of worried about Garrett Smithley here. Obviously didn't get going there, but he might be in jeopardy of losing this draft if he's not careful.
Also, just want to point out that Cisco, of course, is in a Saab. a proper Saab, so we'll give him credit on that. So, not the worst thing in the world. Not the worst thing in the world. The regular car reviews life and death is a fantastic way to kill 3 hours. While we're on the subject, so we'll touch on that now so we can focus in on the racing at the end of this. Look at David Schildhouse go, though, clear by just over a car length over Corey Verbrink to maybe able to put in potentially a career run tonight, depending on how this shakes out.
Perhaps, and if any night's the night to do it, it's going to be tonight, where this is going to be your best shot, maybe if you don't have full control of those Gen 4 cars, to get up here and make a name, make a statement. But you see Blake McCandless all the way down to the grass right here, trying to get to the inside of David Schildhouse, and he will, still in that tribal grass. He's going to be to the inside, using that apron like we saw in the last heat. He's going to be a little bit sideways.
That did not work out well for David Schildhouse as Corey Verbrink goes up into the fence, and Schildhouse and Smithley are clear of everybody. And then it's the sob of Cisco Scaramuza, who now sits in third, as McCandless and Verbrink are going to have to work their way back to this group. But it's Smithley to the inside of Schildhouse, and this will bring Cisco back into it too.
Almost a little bit of contact. Both of them were super sideways off in the middle of the corner there here to complete lap number 4. Cisco maybe looking to make a move. David Schildhouse beating and banging on the outside. Remember, he will wreck you to win this thing.
He will wreck you to win this race. He will wreck you to win any race in the alphabet soup. He will wreck you to win the feature. Will he wreck Garrett Smithley here? And now they bounce off of each other again. Schildhouse had to save it, and he's having a good time. At least you can see the smiles on his face, but don't mistake it for anything besides hard racing, as Cisco almost lost it there in the middle of 3 and 4.
Oh man, you don't want to see that from Cisco. We'll see if McCandless and Vervink are able to get back in it here. Either way, 2 laps to go, and still David Schildhouse and Garrett Smithley side by side as they go into one, and Schildhouse gonna be beating and banging. And once again, Garrett Smithley trying to push him up the track off turn number 2. That's gonna open the door for Cisco.
Cisco's there, and I believe, is that Williams Alexander Rossi on his hood? I think. Someone could correct me if I'm wrong about that. But it's Alexander Rossi's face on a Saab sitting in third. That truly is about as core Summer Series presented by Simrat Market as you can get, right?
Yeah, I think that's Latifi with the goat.
Latifi, yeah, Latifi the goat, yeah.
Wow, look at Blake here.
They look similar from the angle that I have, as we are on the last lap. 3 wide, Caleb Hoffman, middle of 1 and 2.
And you see David Schildhouse in the middle of this sandwich. As you said, they're 4 wide down the backstretch for the lead. That's going to open the door for Vervinkt as well. Still 3 wide. Blake McCandless trying to use his top side. David Schildhouse in the middle of he and Smithley.
Here goes Smithley to the inside. Schildhouse in the middle. McCandless up top. Cisco behind them all. Smithley with the lead out of turn number 4. Cisco down to the inside. They completely fan out. Schildhouse and Smithley bounce off of each other. Give it to Blake McCandless, who I think stayed on the racetrack and officially, per iRacing timing and scoring, goes top of that heat. Whether or not Core will pull the same data and go off of scoring or off of something else, we'll find out here in just a bit. But for now, we'll go to a quick break and reset for Alphabet Soup here. It's the David Schildhouse will win you to win this exhibition event on FTF.GG. Welcome back to coverage of the David Schildhouse will wreck you to win this exhibition event here on FTF.GG, part of the Core Summer Series presented by SimRatMarket.com, live from the virtual Charlotte Motor Speedway. James Pike alongside Caleb Hoffman, where it's go time. It's go time, go time, go time, and we will head now to the D main. Caleb Hoffman will be ready for some alphabet soup.
Oh, this is going to be great with, again, all of our heat races. And now this is winner takes all, really, where, you know, if you don't want to go home, you're going to have to win to advance on, obviously, between this group of Corey Vervinkt, Flag Eye, Keenan. Going to be a lot of interesting things to watch here.
So as the cars begin to roll off, we'll remind you of how the format changes from the heats to now. The heats set everybody up into these particular spots amongst the alphabet soup. We are now in the D main. So we'll go D, then C, then B, then A. And it is only the winner that goes to the feature. Now, also worth noting that with each progressive main, we also get a longer time limit and one more lap in these races. So this D main will be 7 laps, the C 8, the B 9, and then we'll get to the feature at the end of all this. So worth noting as we now turn our attention to the Alpha Prime Racing grid for this heat, it will be Corey Vervinkt and Fly Guy starting on the front row first and second, then Keenan Kusin and Michael P. Frisch third and fourth, and Cisco Scaramuzzo officially gridded fifth.
And a little bit of trouble for Cisco. I believe that he did not make the grid, so already an early ticket for him to go home for that Go Tifa machine. Going to be a tough end for the night for him.
We all knew that Saab was never meant to last forever. Once they lost ownership of their own company, it was always going to come to a conclusion at some point. We just didn't know when. Now, did we? Mr. Hoffman, as we go green flag racing. Corey Vervinkt off and away. Here we go with the D main. Vervinkt, and then Keenan, and then Fly Guy, then Michael P. Frisch's Cisco now is going to start from pit lane and see if he can't maybe save himself.
Yeah, and he's going to need something for sure. Some type of accident involving pretty much everybody here. You'll see Vervinkt. I think everybody's just going to fall in line for right now. You see Keenan's right there, Michael P. Frisch. Fly Guy hops in line, and, you know, I wonder if they stay in this trainer, if we see him try to get double wide once again. A little bit of contact almost between Frisch and Keenan.
I don't think we're going to see them stay in line all that long. Here comes Michael P. Frisch to the inside, working Corey Vervinkt now for the race lead. Fly Guy just sitting behind them. It is 2 by 2 by 2, you would feel, if we had more cars. But for now, everybody's sort of spaced out. Oh, and maybe a little bit of help there as Vervinkt gets a move from Michael P. Frisch. He was sideways and then some on the exit of turn 2.
Great save for sure, but still, that's going to open the door for him, as now it's Frisch to the inside to take the lead. Corey Vervinkt has the option to hop in line. He's going to think about it. Now he will off turn number 4. Fly Guy's right there, but will he get with Keenan on the outside at some point?
Keenan to the outside. It's Flag on the inside. Vervinkt sitting in second. One of the best runs of his core career today. Michael P. Frisch in control of this. Keenan running the high line, trying to roll the momentum on the top side to get a run down the back straightaway, but he'll just drop in line eventually, I think, here behind Flag Eye, because Arrow doesn't mean all that much when you're all by yourself.
Absolutely. Vervinkt still following Michael P. Frisch here, and it's going to take a lot. We saw how rough Michael P. Frisch was in his heat. I think it's going to take a lot to get that 58 moved up out of the way. We'll have to see if Corey Vervinkt's able to do it.
Michael P. Frisch down to the bottom. Now I think they've settled in the way that you thought they were going to, Caleb Hoffman. Now it's largely just this train of 3 and then Arrow trying to gain some sort of advantage on the high line, but he's all by himself. He'll need someone to draft off of to really make a move, and maybe that someone might be Corey Vervinkt, who slides up in the middle of the corner. Is he going to go top? Is he going to stay down low? No, he'll stay in front of Fly Guy for the time being.
Frisch has a nice buffer right now back to Corey Vervinkt, but if Vervinkt and Fly Guy are able to get together. I think that's actually going to come back to bite him. Going to take a big block of sorts to stop that run from coming. Maybe we'll see that down the backstretch. Here it comes. Corey Vervinkt, and that car going to get a little bit tight. Maybe lost the nose on entry.
Vervinkt now with a run on Michael P. Frisch, coming to 2 laps to go this time by. It's a proper train of 4 for now. When, Caleb Hoffman, though, do you start making moves?
It's got to come soon, and I think if you're Corey Vervinkt, you're going to have to figure out that middle of the corner just a little bit better, because right now you're losing so much time back to Michael P. Frisch. You see he didn't even have a shot to get underneath him right there on board with him. Well, see right here is, again, you see Fly Guy is really backed up to Keenan Kusin. Maybe they can get something going here. Coming to the white flag. They're going to have to make a move soon, though. Not too much distance.
And I think more importantly, Corey Vervinkt is going to need some help. You'll have the draft at your Fly Guy and Keenan, but they're going to have to get back up there to make something happen. He'll need draft some way, somehow, and he'll need another car, I think, to make this move. White flag here. Only the winner is going to advance out of this. Everybody else is done when the checkers come out.
Here comes Fly Guy. Vervinkt with a big block. Going to put himself on the wall. Fly Guy almost spins it out. Big drift in turn number 2. But that has really paved the way now for Michael P. Frisch. He might be smooth sailing onto the finish.
Does Arrow have any hope of catching a draft here and maybe reeling Michael P. Frisch in? He's getting a little bit of a run, but I don't think it's going to be enough. And that last lap block at the end is going to make it easy for Michael P. Frisch to advance out of the D main and finish off the Knights of Arrow, Corey Vervinkt, Fly Guy, and Cisco.
And that all happened with that big block from Vervinkt. And it's just split everybody else up. Michael P. Frisch going to move on. And again, if he wants to be in the feature, he's going to have to win every race from this point on, which is going to be a challenging task.
A tricky task indeed, as we will get set for another Alpha Prime Racing grid here in Core. This time it is the C main, where Justin Melillo will start up front at a David Schildhouse in the second row. Case Cuddleback and Rusty Walrus. Russell Cox going to roll off from row 2. Row 3, Wes Graham, and now a 6-car race with Michael P. Frisch.
And again, just going to keep adding to that car count tonight. As, again, Frisch joins the 5 that were locked in. And again, it's going to make it even more interesting because, again, looking at this group, I mean, how do you pick a winner? I mean, are you going to kick David Schildhouse out? Are you going to kick Melillo out? That's just the fun of these exhibition races, is they're going to figure it out for us.
All right. Lining it up here. Does the extra car now make a difference? This is the first time we've had 6 cars in a race 2 nights, Caleb. So that, I think, if you're looking for storylines in this particular Alphabet Soup race, that maybe, more than anything else, might be the one.
Yeah, I think with that extra drafting help, for sure, it's going to open the door for more moves to be made. Again, we've seen that top lane able to work, but we haven't seen enough cars to truly get drafting help all the way up there. So for the first time tonight, we can really see 3 groups of 2 different cars, maybe 2 groups of 3. We're just going to have to see how these drivers want to handle it. Either way, about to find out. Pace car should be pulling off here from Charlotte.
Off goes the Pace truck, without a C, by the way. T-R-U-K, that is. As green flag comes back out again. Here we are in the C main for the David Schildhouse will wreck you to win this exhibition event. And Schildhouse himself up top. Melillo down low. Everybody 2 by 2 into turns 1 and 2. And then they go 3 wide in the middle of the corner. As soon as I say that, commentators agree.
Rusty, we saw him in his heat all the way up against the wall. I think just dropping in the back right now to be able to survey everything else that's going on up here. But still, Melillo, Schildhouse side by side as they go into turn 3. Help from Kallenbach and Frisch behind.
Oh, Kallenbach got the apron there, and then Schildhaus bounces off of Malillo, and here comes Michael P. Frisch trying to work his way through the soup like we've seen so many times at the Chili Bowl in real life. Frisch to the front, Malillo back to third, and Schildhaus still the first car on the outside.
And we saw David Schildhaus was not afraid to use his car. Michael P. Frisch was not either. So expect these two to be beating and banging for the next 6 laps all over the place right now still. Rusty Walrus all over the back end of David Schildhaus, trying to push him past your leader, Michael P. Frisch.
Michael P. Frisch still on top of all of this. Schildhaus their first car on the outside. You've got Kallenbach hanging back with Wes Graham, and Rusty Walrus still in the mix too. Malillo now waiting for his opportunity. Looks potentially to go to the outside of Michael P. Frisch, then thinks better of it. Now here comes Schildhaus back down to block. Another big block there for Michael Frisch entering turn 1.
Again, Frisch not afraid to throw that car around. Justin Malillo trying not to kill his run there. David Schildhaus falling back just a little bit, going to opt to fall in line and might get a lap, maybe half a lap of tameness here as everybody is dropped into line, but don't expect him to stay that way for long. Into 3.
Waiting. Who will make the move? I feel a little bit more calculation in this Alphabet Soup race. Here comes Justin Malillo to the inside. Big run on Michael P. Frisch that Frisch had no answer for. And now here comes Schildhaus driving it in deep. Contact between Frisch and Malillo, and Schildhaus is going to take the lead from both of them. A 2-for-1 on the inside at turn 2.
58 lost the back end, but he was able to save it and get behind David Schildhaus. Schildhaus going to go up to block Justin Malillo, going to come back down to block Frisch. Frisch sideways once again. David Schildhaus trying to play Pied Piper as they come off turn number 4.
Frisch was trying to drift that car through the middle of 3 and 4. That was not sideways. That was beyond sideways so far as these street stocks are concerned. But yet again, you see the runs continuing to come again and again and again. And Frisch is right there. I think he got into the back of Schildhaus just a little bit center of the corner, drifts up in turn 2. He is door to door with Justin Malillo, working our way through the second half of this C-main.
I think Rusty and Wes Graham back there are going to have to get grouped up as well, because right now this outside lane really suffering because of it. Justin Malillo with no help right now. Rusty's going to drop in line here. Here comes Frisch trying to get to the inside of David Schildhaus. Just didn't quite have it. 3 laps to go.
Frisch has got it now. He's to the inside. Schildhaus would not let him go, and Frisch is trying to save it somehow. They bounce off of each other in the middle of the corner, and somehow, some way, they didn't kill each other. And now Malillo's going to have the opportunity to go to the bottom as Frisch slides back to third.
Block from David Schildhaus. He tried to block Malillo, and I think he actually is going to clear him. Michael P. Frisch in line. Justin Malillo trying to not drift up, but that's going to open the door for Frisch, who's trying to use the apron, just not viable enough. David Schildhaus still has the lead off 4.
Can we talk about Case Kallenbach and the fact that he's still in this? He's been hanging out back for a good chunk of this, watching Frisch and Malillo and Schildhaus beat the doors off of each other to try and win this thing. And now here comes Malillo to the inside to try and give a shove to Schildhaus. And then big block there and a hip check from Michael P. Frisch that sent Kallenbach nearly up under the fence.
And again, 2 laps to go. It's crunch time right now. Justin Malillo trying to get to the outside and defending series champion David Schildhaus. This might open the door for Frisch, maybe even Rusty Walrus as they come off turn number 4, coming to the white flag.
1 lap to go when they hit the stride. Big run from Michael P. Frisch that Schildhaus nor Malillo did not have an answer for. Frisch jumped over the asphalt in the middle of the front stretch to get down to the inside. Frisch and Schildhaus driving into each other, and somehow they didn't wreck.
3 wide, contact being made between Frisch and Schildhaus. They might get sideways. It's going to open the door for Rusty Walrus down on the inside. Rusty's going to get turned as well. Justin Malillo has the lead.
They all wreck behind. Every single last one of them saved for David Schildhaus and Justin Malillo. Will Schildhaus wreck Malillo to win this exhibition event? He goes down to the apron and is going to drive it all the way to the bottom. And at the line, Justin Malillo will survive some way, somehow, to make it. And did he ever ride the lightning just like his board said, to get the victory and make his way into the B main.
And a reversal of 2 seasons ago when it was Malillo and Schildhaus, with Schildhaus coming on top. Malillo gets his revenge, knocks out Schildhaus. What a race.
That's a big time win in the consolation features for Justin Melillo. Let's get his words on that. I know you're burning it down there, Justin Melillo. How hyped are you to win a Conzi race to try and get into the feature?
I won something, James. I can't believe I won something. You know, my night is made. I don't care what happens. If I even make it to the feature, I just know that I'm a winner, and that is absolutely fantastic. And now I got to go grid.
Yeah, before you go grid, two things. One, that last lap, walk us through it. Two, tell us the story behind your Ride the Lightning themed board of the night.
It's a simple story. I asked Cosmin, or actually Cosmin asked me if I needed a car for tonight. I completely forgot that we were running street stocks and not Gen 4. I asked him, hey, could you just take an old scheme that I had and just add a little of that metallic FTF blue that I like so much? He's like, Metallica? And then he added Lightning. So I'm riding the Lightning tonight, and so far so good.
I will take that. The board is perfect. The car was good. We'll see you here in the B-Bay, Justin Melillo.
You got it.
Wild, to say the least. Let's get another Alpha Prime Racing starter grid for you before we get into too much more racing. Here we go. It's going to be 7 machines competing here in this B main. Drive through DT, Davin, Cornelius, and Goen. Starting on the front row. Second row, you'll find Justin Champagne Racing to Garrett Smithley in the 4th spot on the grid. 5th and 6th, Harry Tiller and Sean Butler, and Justin Melillo rode the Lightning through to the B. Can he ride it all the way into the feature? We'll find out in 9 laps time.
Going to be interesting for sure. Once again, expanding car count here. Biggest race of the night with 7 cars and longer as well, as we've gone from 8 to 9 laps now. Going to be a fun one right here.
Track temp is cool just a little bit. We're down from 126 degrees Fahrenheit to 110, but beyond that, still warm, still humid, still sliding all over the place, and it's still the middle of June in Sims, so not exactly going to be a cold race. If you've done the summer shootout at any point in real life, you know how hot it can get on pit road during these summer months. Green flag out. Here comes the B main for the David Schulthouse. Will wreck you to win this exhibition event. It is Goen, who started up front, but he is going to be swamped by DT, by Justin Champagne, by Goen. I mean, everybody there working for spots on the inside, but Champagne and Butler in control of this through 1 and 2.
See drive-through getting shuffled out of it right there. Champagne in a great spot, though, on the inside with Sean Butler right behind him, going to his outside. Garrett Smithley all in line with him right now. But if what we've seen so far holds to be true, these guys are not going to be afraid to beat all over each other.
It could get very, very nutty, very, very quick. Champagne in control of this. Butler there, Smithley there. All 3 of those down on the inside, along with DT at the back of this group. Fighting with Goen, fighting with Harry Tiller and Justin Melillo, the last car in line down on the inside in the center of this field. He rides 4th.
And again, Melillo, after winning, he's going to have to win here to advance, as is everybody else. Remember, if you don't win, you're going home after this. So lots of big names indeed. But right now, Justin Champagne maybe going to have a move made on him by Sean Butler, but I think they're going to opt to stick in line for right now.
We will shuffle them around and see how it all pans out. Meanwhile, it is a bottom line. It is a top line. It is some of the most organization that we've seen so far in tonight's David Schulthouse will wreck you to win this exhibition event. Nothing really crazy amongst this group again yet. Meanwhile, still Champagne in control of this. Also, a little note here, a late change from Race Control the Admins. It will be top 4 that will make it into the feature instead of just the winner. So, a little bit more opportunities to try and fill out that field so we can get a whole bunch of cars running. As Champagne nearly got turned there by Sean Butler. That was closer than I think he would like. As all of a sudden, look up, we're almost halfway through the B main.
Yeah, it's still all over each other right now. All for 8 cars to advance to that feature with the 4 heat winners and then the 4 from the B main. And right now, everybody here trying their best to get to that B main. Still, I think Justin Champagne, in the best spot right now because just nobody's been able to move that car. He has been stable, solid, right there on the inside lane in the lead.
Off we go now into the back half of this B main. Starting to see that outside line come together. It's going DT and Harry Tiller. And now Melillo's going to make the move up top. And so the outside lane's got more cars than the inside lane for the first time in this race. Does that change how the back half of this B main plays out?
And really for the first time, we've seen this outside lane able to get grouped together. And Goen is now making up time on Justin Champagne. He's got drive-through Harry Tiller, Justin Melillo all in line. But again, don't anticipate that to stay the same for very long as we are coming at 3 laps to go. The urgency really going to start picking up for these guys. Remember, it's win or go home here.
Off they go. Oh, Goen just about got a bump from DT there. I saw him be a little bit more sideways than I think he would have liked on corner entry. And Butler with a little nudge to Champagne. That may give us our first battle for the lead coming to lap number 7. They are 3. They are almost 4 wide entering turn 1.
All over each other. A little bit of contact, and now they're going to go in the wall. It's half the field.
Caution for the first time tonight in any of the heat races or in the consolation features, and that will bunch the field back up for a wild finish. I couldn't tell who got into who in the middle of 1 and 2, but there was contact that sent about half this field up into the fence.
And again, try to be leaning on the cautions, but when half the field is up on the wall, you'll get a replay right here. It just happens when you're 4 wide like that. Justin Melillo trying to make room where there is none. A little bit of contact between he and Garrett Smithley gets that car turned around, and everybody else just gets wedged into the wall.
I think Melillo was the first one that went sideways, but if he didn't get turned, somebody else in that bunch was going around as tight as DT and Smithley and Goen even were on each other. So Melillo was the first, but they all were. So somebody was going for the spin cycle.
And we'll see, having to get everything fixed here to get back in line. Looking right now, Justin, who has been dominant so far, but look at Justin Melillo right on that transfer spot right now, trying to make use of that win. He's going to have to fight some hard chargers, though, and drive through Harry Tiller, Garrett Smithley all behind him. You see Harry going to come down the pit lane.
So Harry will come down for service. You can assume lights are going to end up coming off the pace car, I think, this time by. While we have a moment, we'll remind you of some of the other broadcasts coming up here on FTF.GG over the course of the weekend. If you like Chicago, lots of Chicago in store for you this weekend. Friday night, the Modern Racing Prince.com FTF1 series is at Chicagoland Speedway for 300 kilometers. That broadcast will start at 9:30 on FTF.GG. Then you've got a Bar Visuals FTF Cup Series doubleheader to close out the first half of their season. Saturday night, it's the street courts at Chicago, 9 p.m. start here, and then 8 p.m. start coming your way for Chicagoland. The Oval is where all the action is going to happen. All, of course, here on twitch.tv/FTF_GG. FTF.GG, the home of all the FTF and core action you will want over the summer. Also, big thanks to all the partners here of the Core Summer Series presented by SimRap Market, FTF.GG, Soundhead Entertainment, MAT Liveries, Gabe Wood, Alpha Prime Racing, Eric Wester Photography, Brayton Laster, Learga Security, Splash and Go Graphics, and SimRap Market. Sean Butler to lead us here. Green-white checkers in effect. So 2 laps to settle this when they come back to the start-finish line. All eyes on Butler, who will wait and go. He takes off dead even here at the front. Big bump there from Gary Owen, who just shoves Butler straight to the front. Butler didn't get the greatest of restarts, but with a bump like that, he won't mind, and Champagne will have to work together with Melillo to answer up top.
Yeah, really our first display of that rule change after last week of the leader not really being in control and having to go on green. You saw it there as Goen gave a big shot to him. Still 2 laps to go. They're side by side, and right now Sean and Justin are locked in. It's behind him that still has some settling to be done.
Butler on the point. It is Champagne second. Gary Owen nearly gets turned there as DT tried to get underneath them. Come into the stripe. White flag here in the B main. Top 4 will advance to the feature. It is still Sean Butler and Champagne at turn 1 for the last time.
And we'll find out who gets to the feature right here. Turn 1. You see Justin Malillo, the back end of that car, going to step out as they come off turn 2. Still Butler and Champagne are side by side. They're wrecking behind them. It's, I believe, drive-thru's going to go around. That's going to open the door for Goen to get 3 wide. And now for this transfer spot is Harry Tiller.
Oh, Champagne got set up the racetrack, and that puts him outside of a transfer spot. And now Tiller and Malula, they're all going to wreck. Everybody's going to go around. Sean Butler's able to save it. It's going to be a race back to the line, and I think it's going to be Butler, then Malillo, then DT, then Gary Owen, the top 4 that make it. And Malillo, with the heads-up move maybe of the night, went down pit road to avoid every last bit of that and managed to lock himself into the feature. Ride the lightning he has to the main.
Yeah, what a finish there. And, you know, now we got to re-rack them all over again, but literally everybody wrecked off turn number 4, and if you want anything, that's going to be that's a great example of core for you. I mean, just everybody completely to the wall.
Everybody in the fence. Wild, wild stuff there. They were all over the place coming out of 4 that last time by, and then, oh my goodness, they could not figure out anything there.
And we'll see if the Cinderella story is going to continue there for Malillo as we try to get everybody gridded.
Give you all a chance just to catch your sea legs and regroup before what should be a thrilling feature race in the David Sheldhouse. Will wreck you to win this exhibition event. Let's go through our grid and let's go through all the fun stuff, and let's actually give out an Eric Messer Photography Pole Award, which tonight is going to go to Gabe Wood. So a big thanks to Eric Messer Photography, the official photographer of the Madhouse, Bowman Gray Stadium, and the Core Summer Series presented by Simrat Market. Your Alpha Prime starting grid looks like this: Wood and Vargas up front, then Travis Brown and Blake McCandless 3rd and 4th. 5th and 6th row 3, Sean Butler, Justin Malillo, and DT and Gary Owen. The 8 cars that will make up the 15-lap feature for all the marbles tonight at Charlotte.
Yeah, this is going to be fun for sure. Again, everything tonight has been building towards this. All the winners, everybody advancing on. Got to see if Justin Malillo is able to keep the Cinderella story going. But looking up at the front row, Gabe Wood, Ryan Vargas, already a little bit of contact.
Indeed, bouncing off each other. And we're going to bring in one more friend. Our good man Jacob Hitz going to join us for a little radio-style action here.
Howdy.
Yeah, hi. It's we have 2 Phillies fans in the booth now, so all is good in the
Yes,
world
sir.
as we get set to go after it. It is Gabe Wood, it is Ryan Vargas to lead us to green in the final race of the night. Green flag is out, feature is underway. Door to door they go off across the start-finish line, and Blake McCandless may be the one with the early run heading off into turn 1.
Looking right now, it's still going to be Gabe Wood, Ryan Vargas side by side. We'll see if anybody peeks out to make a move here on lap 1. Actually going to be that outside lane. Currently dissipating just a little bit. It's Gabe Wood, your leader.
Down the back straightaway, things pretty calm. They have 15 laps. Here comes Travis Brown now. He'll look to the outside. Sean Butler will give him the push. Ryan Vargas drops back to the bottom to help Gabe Wood. Side by side for the race lead through 3 and 4.
They are already going crazy in the back of this field as Brown and Wood bounced off of each other there coming out of 4. Here comes Vargas to the inside. Butler trying to work that high line, and DT, who almost didn't make this race, right there on the inside entering 1.
Travis Brown to the outside, trying to take the lead from Gabe Wood. He has help from Sean Butler behind, still trying to get grouped up right now. Side by side, Gabe Wood going to retain the lead.
Down the back straightaway, contact. Gabe Wood gets sideways. Ryan Vargas giving the bumper tag. Here comes Travis Brown on the outside of the racetrack. Justin Malillo looking 3 wide upstairs. Nothing working for him. Wheel to wheel off 4.
Beautiful work there from Gabe Wood to regroup. He'll bounce right into Travis Brown and then go back to the inside. Vargas has the opportunity to go down low. 3 wide for the race lead here at Charlotte. Vargas to the inside and maybe in control of this thing.
Vargas going to be a little bit of contact between these 3, still beating and banging off each other. Gabe Wood's going to go around.
Caution is out as pretty much the entire field, Rex. We're in turn 1. Yeah, thankfully we don't quite have the same damage that we normally would. So we'll get everybody regrouped here. But fun one there. And I think if there's anything that we can assure ourselves of already, Caleb Hoffman, it is that there is absolutely no way these drivers are not going to be afraid to use the bumpers and maybe more importantly the side panels to hold on to track position.
Yeah, the doors just beating and banging all over each other. Ryan Vargas holding strong, gets Gabe Wood up the track, a little bit of contact with Travis, and then drive-through going around off the nose of Justin Malillo, who's going to tag the inside wall, and just chaos erupting on the backstretch. But again, everybody should be okay to go. You see drive-through with a little backwards driving. Ooh, that's a good turn.
That was a nice 180 there. Credit to DT there. That looked good on camera. So you see the field regrouping here. Remember, regenerative. I think that's right. Am I saying that right?
Yeah, regenerative.
Damage? Yeah, there we go. I wanted to say like regenerative. Add like 3 more syllables to it. I know that's not how it's actually supposed to go, but regardless, main point, damage heals itself. That's what I was trying to get at the end of this. So these cars will bounce off the fence and then they will look good as new. That is an option that you have if you are hosting an event on iRacing and setting up your own servers. So you won't see it in official races, but if you're just looking to have a little bit of fun, it does exist.
Even a lot of bit of fun as we've had tonight. Looking around right now, got another chance for a restart here. The choose rule on display again. That blue line going into turn number 1, deciding where everybody lines up for this restart. It's going to be Ryan Vargas and Going your front row on this restart.
So those 2 in control of this thing. Then Travis Brown, then Gabe Wood, then Sean Butler, then Justin Malillo, DT and Blake McCandless, Jacob Hitz. Do we have any Phillies updates that we can share?
Well, they're off today after the Mets bullpen imploded at Citizens Bank Park. They are.
That was nice.
The
that
Phillies.
Was nice to see. That was great.
It was very nice. First series win in 2 years against the Mets. They will they traveled today. They play the Cubs starting tomorrow night at Wrigley Field. So we'll see what happens there. Still 3rd place, trying to catch the stupid fish and the Marlins, and those darn Braves are scooting away. Good news is, though, we're gridded up 2 by 2. Ryan Vargas and Gary Owen on the front row. Should be a good restart with 10 laps to go.
The big question is if anyone from Big Fan Esports is as big of a fan of Wrigley Field as I am as big of a fan as Wrigley Field. Think about that one. Everybody watching here on FTF.GG as we go back to it. And yeah, big bump there from Ryan Vargas. That new restart rule really coming into play as they had to shove him to go, but he gets a good jump, and he and Travis Brown will lead the field.
Looking right now, Going, trying to get grouped up, just doesn't have it quite yet. Ryan Vargas, Travis Brown going to drop into line as they come off turn number 2. It's Ryan Vargas's pack.
Vargas leads, Travis Brown tucked right behind, then it's Gary Owen side by side, Malillo on the bottom, Gabe Wood up top, he's got Malillo and McCandless with him, rather that's Butler there in the middle. Here comes Davin Cornelius down on the inside, 2 cars clear, it's side by side, 3rd on back.
Big run coming from everybody behind Travis and Ryan Vargas. Where does it go? Into the rear bumper of Travis Brown, says Justin Malillo, who's going to get into Gary Owen, and that's going to send some few people up into the fence.
Great save by everybody involved. That's really going to split up this pack. Maybe give Travis a chance to make a move on Ryan Vargas as he will down the backstretch.
He looks to the outside. Vargas covers the spot. Travis hangs a left. He goes down to the inside. There's contact. They're sideways. 3 wide. Here comes Melillo on the outside of the racetrack. Travis keeps his foot in it. They're tracking it through 3 and 4. He holds on to the lead.
Sean Butler going through the middle, 3 wide for the race lead at Charlotte as Butler sends his car right through the center of the action to try and take the race lead away from Travis Brown.
Looking right now, still Travis Brown in control of it. Sean Butler trying to hold his own on the outside. A little bit of contact between he and Vargas. Still, Travis Brown has the lead. They're side by side behind him.
Here comes Sean Butler on the outside with the run. Has Melillo to help. Vargas stays glued to the back bumper of the 0-1. Travis Brown trying to push his way to victory lane. He's been strong in the All-Star race before. Can he hold on to the lead off turn 4?
Butler was in the middle last time, now on the outside this time, has help from his good friend Justin Melillo there. Vargas peeked to the inside of Travis Brown, thought better of it. Here comes Blake McCandless working that third lane.
7 laps to go here from Charlotte. Contact all over the
They're
place.
in the
Sean
wall.
Butler's up in the wall.
Caution is out. Man, we're going to have a restart under 5 to go, guys.
Did you expect anything less? Are you not entertained?
This is going to be so much fun, but also so much chaos here. You'll see what put us under the caution right here. A little bit of contact between Vargas. Justin Melillo gets tags Sean Butler and sends Justin Melillo up into the wall. Blake McCandless as well. And again, after accruing that damage, they just drive off like nothing happened. One of the fun perks of being in an exhibition event tonight.
Yeah, they were going for it, and they have been going for it really all night. Lots of fun racing here in the street stocks, but as it stands. Meanwhile, poor Blake McCandless has been caught up in these wrecks twice. I have to believe his luck's going to turn around at some point, right?
Yeah, he'll be able to put it on display here. You see that machine down the backstretch. Chugging
Let's
along.
talk with him.
Yeah, let's have a chat with him. So Blake, first things first, you've got the numbers turned around on the hood, and I noticed that if you look at it from the sort of normal perspective, it reads 17, which also happened to be the number that Matt Kenseth piloted for so many years, which also happens to be David Schildhouse's favorite driver. So are we, I guess, playing to our audience tonight with our scheme a little bit?
Is there a 17 on this car?
It looks like a 17 from our perspective if you read it.
Put the
sort of
numbers
like
on wrong, Blake.
Right.
Well, no, I mean it's a street stock, so you don't put the roof number, the same as you would NASCAR, in my opinion.
Exactly. Right. So,
But also, I painted this scheme for like 3 seconds before an ERL race, like a long time ago. So it has nothing to do with tonight. I'm surprised the contingencies even look like they line up a little bit.
That's a big up to our good buddy Devin Cornelius for putting all those together. But do you have a game plan in this, or is it just use brain, put foot on floor, go?
Yeah, there's not really a plan. We're just trying to put on a good show, because we got to do that on Monday nights. So we're just gonna come out here and I don't know. We're gonna send it 5 or 6 or 7 wide if we can.
It could be that nuts. Could well be crazy. As we'll let Blake McCandless get back to it and let this field reset here. It is Moonhead, Vargas, DT, Goen, Butler, Melillo, Wood, McCandless. Your 8 fighting and vying for the victory in the David Schildhouse will wreck you to win this exhibition event. Honestly, one of the most fun event names I've ever had in all of iRacing is, does that count as beef between Gabe Wood and Sean Butler? That was a little bit of contact under the yellow. We might want to keep tabs on that one.
We're having fun.
Yeah, they're driving good and all that sort of stuff as the pace truck comes down pit road. Here comes Travis Brown to get us back to green flag racing. What kind of shove does he get from DT? Not a good one. Outside lane's going to roll. Ryan Vargas may have the opportunity to clear Travis Brown by the time they hit the corner if he so chooses.
And going all over the back bumper, Ryan Vargas right now might give him the option to choose no. Travis Brown back down to the inside. They're 3 wide behind him. Gabe Wood, Blake McCandless on the outside trying to make something happen. They're still side by side.
Contact coming off turn number 2. Travis Scott Squirrely has the help from DT down to the bottom. Here comes Butler in the middle. Vargas will cover the spot. 3 wide for the lead with Gary Owen up on the outside. Gabe Wood trying to push him. Coming to 3 to go. They're 3 wide from third on back.
Travis Brown with a good run. DT might have a big run. Malillo might have a bigger run yet, as poor Sean Butler is stuck right in the middle of just about every single car in this field. Nowhere for him to go as he sits in fourth.
3 laps to go, and everybody is packed up right now. It's Travis Brown and Ryan Vargas at the front. Still everybody vying behind them. They're still going to be 3 wide. Drive-through might make a move here. 3 laps to go. Contact.
Into the wall goes Travis and DT. There is no caution. 5, 6 cars are left racing for the win. Coming to 2 laps to go. Ryan Vargas and Sean Butler side by side for the lead in turn number 3. You've got Malillo and Gabe Wood side by side right behind.
DT gave a little bit of a nudge there to Butler down to the stripe. Here they come, making their way to 2 laps to go. Here comes Blake McCandless on the inside, but maybe just to the inside of everybody in one.
Gonna try that apron to no avail. Still side by side. Sean Butler, Ryan Vargas, Gabe Wood all over the back into the 23. Might give him the push he needs to take the lead off too.
And unless they wreck again, I think Blake McCandless' race is over. Caleb lost too much speed going down onto the apron in turn number 1. Vargas pushed to the lead by the Vargas-sponsored car, the 50 of Gabe Wood. Here comes Butler, though, back on the bottom. They'll be wheel-to-wheel coming to the white flag.
Butler and Malillo down low, Vargas and Wood up high. Gary Owen still a factor in this. Those 5 competing for the victory, and the David Schulthouse will win you to wreck this exhibition event at white flag, and here comes a car out of pit road.
Right now, Vargas and Sean Butler still side by side, both with drafting help behind them, going kind of floating around. Who gets back to the stripe first, Jacob?
Here comes Butler down on the bottom with the help from Malillo. Vargas on the outside with the help from Gabe Wood. Where could Gary Owen go? Could he have an impact? Vargas starts to pull ahead. Butler pulls back even into turn number 3. They're leaning on each other. Now Butler's help gets sideways. Here they come side by side.
Butler by a hood as they come out of turn 4 for the last time, but Vargas with the run on the outside, and that help from Gabe Wood puts Ryan Vargas in victory lane. He got a bump from his buddy, and it is all Ryan Vargas out of La Mirada, California to win. The David Schulthouse will wreck you to win this exhibition event in the throwback street stock to his early days when he ran in a car oh so similar at his home track, Irwindale Speedway. Ryan Vargas, the winner of the exhibition race in the 2023 Core Summer Series presented by SimRapMarket.com, and in car number 23 as well. So, coincidence, maybe, Caleb Hoffman?
I don't know. Coincidence or not, this league, I mean, where else are you going to see this? And they're still beating and banging after the checkered flag. Ryan Vargas burns it down after what we just watched, maybe the greatest race in history.
Fabulous work from Ryan Vargas and Gabe Wood. I think we're going to see Gabe Wood maybe come here a little bit. Is he going to join the party? Yes, he will. Twin burnouts in front of the stands here, and yeah, I would have paid a ticket to see this in real life. This would have been something.
And the difference maker in all of that, guys, coming through 3 and 4, and hopefully we can get a replay of that last lap. The difference maker is Justin Malillo here. Here we are coming to the white flag. You'll see Travis mowing the lawn. He's just trying to bring that thing back around. And it's Justin Malillo that is going to make or break this race, right? It's the guys that are pushing coming to the checkered flag. If you lose your help, you're not going to have as big as a run on corner exit. You see Sean get a little loose off of 2, and he was able to keep it straight. He had the run coming through 3 and 4 down on the bottom. That's where you want to be, even if you're going to wash up the racetrack. Problem is Justin Malillo bounces off the door. Gabe Wood gets sideways. Sean loses his help. And even though he's poked out in front off turn number 4, it's the run on the outside that pushes him back to the line.
And the literal push from Gabe Wood that sealed it in. It was the decoupling of Malillo and Butler that began the unraveling. It was the push that Gabe Wood gave to Ryan Vargas that put Vargas in victory lane tonight here in the Core Summer Series presented by SimRapMarket.com. That was something. That was wild. Here are your unofficial results from the feature race. Vargas, your winner over Sean Butler and Gabe Wood. We'll get the chance to chat with them momentarily. Justin Malillo finishes in 4th. Gary Owen, the highest finishing Kia, in 5th. Blake McCandless was 6th. And then it was DT, Davin Cornelius, and Travis Brown, your 8 that made it into the feature. Let's see if we can't get a word here with some of the folks that happen to be up near the front tonight, and we will start with race winner in core, Ryan Vargas. How did you survive that last lap?
Man, I'll tell you this. I am over the moon right now. Cannot thank Gabe Wood enough for the push at the end there. Man, normally I'm running a beautiful Lyricus security paint scheme in core, but with it being the street stock, I don't have a Lyricus security paint scheme, and I'm going to run a throwback to my 2015 street stock that I drove in real life. So it feels really cool to get the win in that car because that car was very special to me. It's unbelievable. I just spent the last like 2 minutes like frantically turning on the face cam, so I hope it worked. But no, just thank you to Lyricus Security for what they do for the core league, as well as for myself and what I do on sim racing. Hope the folks watching enjoyed the show. That was a absolute banger.
What was it like from behind the wheel, especially in the feature? Everybody was willing to use every door in this field to just bounce off of each other, and there was just no regard for anything. I feel like so it looks crazy from our perspective, but can you describe what that racing was like from behind the wheel?
Man, it was intense. The block I pulled on Moonhead actually uncalibrated my wheel, so like if they could see my here's my wheel straight, it was like this the entire time. Like my wheel was the complete opposite direction to where I was used to. So I had no feel in the wheel at all. But it's so the cars, they don't have any grip, right? So you're consistently sliding around while in a pack. And it was just a blast. It was such this combo is always such a blast because it's so hard to get the handle of these race cars and be good and be in the pack like that when it's so tight. So, just a lot of fun.
You talked a little bit about how special it is for you to win in this particular scheme. For those who don't know the story of that black and white 23, what was it like competing and grinding your way out at Irwindale to eventually, make a way to have a shot at Xfinity and Truck Series racing?
Man, a lot of people really have no idea how special this street stock was to me because I was 14 years old racing this car against guys who were at the lowest twice my age. Just trying to learn as much as I can about driving a full size stock car. The only thing I drove prior to it was a Bandolero, so it was my first real stock car. It's a very special one to me. We bought it off of a former racer out there at the Las Vegas Bull Ring, Chuck Burgess, and we did absolutely nothing to the car. I mean, right when we bought it, it was fast out of the gate. So to have a car that is that fast so easily and so quick, I mean, we hardly ever finished outside the top 3. So to bring that same car and put it on iRacing, I mean, literally, it's the same body style too, so it's perfect for iRacing. It's just really special. It definitely means a lot to be able to recreate a very special race car on the sim.
And to create a new memory of you in victory lane in the Core Summer Series presented by SimRatMarket.com. Ryan Vargas, congratulations. I guess final little nugget. You are now a winner of the David Schildhouse Will Wreck You to win this exhibition event. On a scale of 1 nugget to 10 nuggets, where's that name sit for you?
We're at 11 nuggets. They accidentally packed an extra nugget in there, but you know what? It don't matter. All right, we got ourselves the extra nugget. We got ourselves the victory in the David Schildhouse Will Wreck You to win this exhibition race, all-star race. Just a blast. Like I said, thank you to Lyricus Security for what they do for myself on iRacing and in real life, but also for the Core League and iRacing, all my iRacing endeavors in general.
One of those days where you get an extra nugget by mistake with a little bit of Szechuan sauce on the side. Ryan Vargas, your winner here tonight at Charlotte. We now turn our attention to our runner-up. Sean Butler is with Caleb Hoff.
And talking here with our second place finisher in Sean Butler. And Sean, just all over the place that whole race, that entire pack was just slipping and sliding around. How did you command that thing to a second place finish?
To be honest, I have no idea. I mean, I just happened to find myself on the bottom with like 3 to go, and I don't know, it just kind of fell in my lap, I guess. Just came up a little bit short. I think Justin was my main help, behind me, trying to push me up there. So thanks to him, he got a little roughed up going into 3 there, which kind of killed our momentum, and try to get into Ryan a little bit. I didn't want to wreck him, of course, to win, but just wanted to trying to make it a little more interesting, but I just didn't have the momentum. But great job by Ryan overall, though. He drove a great race, put himself in a great spot, and cool to see him win in that paint scheme, as you guys were talking about, too. He has so much history in that specific car, and it's cool to see him bring it to victory lane here in Core. But overall, a fun night, though. Got a little roughed up myself in a few of these races, had to climb my way up through the heats, but overall, it was a fun time. Can't complain.
Yeah, and I mean, we saw all night that inside lane, when you had a car bump draft and you had a tendency to kind of lose the back end a little bit. Do you think, with the 2020 vision you got now, do you think you would have tried the high lane at some point? Because we never really saw anybody experiment with that.
Oh, absolutely not. I mean, we learned in the first race that, the high line is not the way to go. I mean, but you saw Ryan was able to, make the middle work there, but he had a lot of momentum on his side to kind of help with that. And that's kind of the key. If you can make it work off the corner, you just got a little bit of a straighter exit and be able to carry more speed down the straighter, which he was able to do on me there. But it was just so difficult. The bottom was the way to go, as you guys saw throughout all the races. And, it was very difficult to make that high side work. But Blake tried it a few times, and I think Gabe tried it once at the end I think Gowan tried to make it work down there as well, but just couldn't really get enough people up there to commit to it. So it's just really tough to run up there. So really had to pick your spots if you wanted to be up front there. I was just fortunate to have a shot, in this thing.
Absolutely. And thinking big picture for yourself here for a second. We've had our fun here tonight, taking the break next week. And then in 2 weeks, we are back once again, not with a traditional format, but back at Eldora with another heat type configuration. Looking at you right now, sitting 6th in points, about 83 points back. Do you think Eldora, you're going to have a shot to accrue some of those back and maybe get back in to the championship picture?
If every single person in the race but me wrecks, yes, I will definitely have a shot to finish in there. I am terrible on dirt. I barely race it. I have Eldora. I run it only a handful of times, and I haven't run anything as powerful as the Gen 4 on dirt before, so that's going to be an experience. But y'all going to want to tune in for that. But I don't know, man. I need a lot to go my way to have a chance in that, but you never know. I thought it was going to be a toss up in this race tonight, and definitely going to be a toss up in that race in a couple of weeks. So who knows? We'll have to wait and see. That's why we run the races, of course. So we'll just have to, see where everything shakes out.
Well, he's got that extra week to maybe get some practice in for it. Thank you for your time. Congrats on a second place here tonight, Sean.
Thank you, Caleb. Good job tonight up here, guys. Very good job.
That's your second place finisher, Sean Butler. Happy with his result here tonight from Charlotte. James?
One more driver to talk to before we start turning things towards the end of this broadcast. Jacob Hitz, we'll get you in here. You were here for our feature race. You are now here to chat with the Georgian Peach, Gabe Wood.
That's the joy of us getting done before 11 o'clock on the Eastern Seaboard. Gabe Wood coming home third tonight. Man, oh man, you were right up there in the thick of it. Glued to the back bumper, though, of Ryan Vargas. Is there anything you could have done to win that race, or were you pretty much stuck being the pusher there on that last lap?
No, like Sean was saying, a couple of people tried to make that outside lane work. And I think Blake and I had it rolling there, but the momentum just kind of died out. But luckily enough, Travis and Davin got into it there on the bottom lane, and it kind of opened up the door for me to shoot to the middle. And I kind of realized when we came to 2 to go that I wasn't going to have a chance to get to the bottom, and that's really, where you had to be able to be to kind of make a move. And Vargas is in front of me, so I'm going to do nothing but push my former teammate and my current friend to the win.
I know that you've had some success here in the All-Star race and the exhibition race in the past. Obviously, you joined us in the booth last year.
I did, in fact, pay for it.
Yeah, and you did, in fact, pay for it. Tonight, David Schildhouse paid for it twice, paid for the race, and then didn't make the feature, saying he would wreck somebody to win the race. So I take it you were not going to go to the school of David Schildhouse in racecraft there and wreck anybody for the win, no matter if it was Vargas in front of you or somebody else?
Well, apparently it's a curse to sponsor the All-Star race. Last year I sponsored it, and I missed it, and then David sponsors it this year. But no, I wasn't going to wreck Vargas, especially since I was carrying him on the car tonight. Was sponsored by the Ryan Vargas Charlotte Stunt School. located on the front stretch in the AstroTurf. But no, and I thought I had screwed myself with about 5 to go because I went to the apron in turn 1 and braked to keep from wrecking everybody. And luckily the caution came back out. So no, I wasn't going to try and kind of go, 15 sheets to the wind to try and win it, but still tried to, put on a decent show.
That's Gabe Wood coming home P3 tonight. We'll see you at Eldora in 2 weeks. Gabe, thanks for your time.
Yes, sir.
Third place, Gabe Wood. Back over to Pike.
A wild one, nonetheless, to finish off this. David Schildhouse will wreck you to win this exhibition event. A mouthful of a name of an event, a mouthful of racing. Caleb Hoffman, my goodness. What a show.
Hey, like I said, we might have just witnessed the greatest motor race that has ever been run, not only in iRacing, but real life anywhere. I mean, what a show. These street stocks slipping and sliding. We had that pack, we had that draft element, but still so much fun to watch these guys on their own, battling the conditions of the racetrack, battling the other cars around them, and great finishes all around, big wrecks, everything that you want from Core. We got it tonight.
Hits, do we really have to wait 2 weeks until we get to do this again? I hate that. Though July 4th, I understand why. But when we do get back, another sort of weird, wonky race, except this time it's not the car, it's the track.
Well, we get 3 really unique races, I think, to wrap up the rest of the season, right? After the week off next week, to celebrate America, birth of American freedom. I went through all that spiel in the pre-race show. Nonetheless, you've got Eldora with the Gen 4 cars, which I hope you like pacing. And I have a feeling Ben is going to throw like one caution flag all night, similar to tonight. Then we go to Iowa. Iowa has put on some money races in the Core League before. I'm really interested to see how the Gen 4 car is going to play into that with that added speed, a little less grip. See how things play out there, because that's typically a multi-groove racetrack, at least on iRacing. And then we wrap things up at Michigan. Really haven't seen how Michigan is going to play out in these cars. We've run it in the past. That's another racetrack that has put on some decent races, and I think we're looking down the stretch at some racetracks and the potential for races to be similar to what we've seen in the first 3 before tonight, where we get a calm one and a wild one. And I think that message is going to stay the same. And for those drivers that are in that maybe top 6, top 7 in points, it's go time. Not like it hasn't been go time for them already. I mean, you look last week at Kansas, your top 6 in points finished just about in the top 5 in both races, or at least running up there when it mattered the most. So it's going to be a brawl of a championship fight. And if anything proved tonight, this combo is coming back next year and the next year and the next year. And as long as iRacing doesn't screw this up too badly, like what happened with the Radicals, street stocks are going to become a permanent fixture in the Core coming up.
I wouldn't be mad about it. I'll put it that way. So that's the easiest way to put it. A big thanks, though, to all the partners that help make everything here possible with the Core. All the big folks at SimRat Market that help present this Core Summer Series for 2023. MAT Liveries, Gabe Wood, Alpha Prime Racing, Eric Messer Photography, Brayton Laster, Largus Security, Splash and Go Graphics. A whole host of folks helped to make this possible, helped to make this series part of one of the greatest shows on iRacing, so far as I'm concerned. So lots of fun that you have every Monday night here with the Core Summer Series presented by SimRat Market. Before we go, a reminder of some of the events that you will see coming up in the world of FTF.GG, all here on twitch.tv/FTF_GG, the URL of FTF.GG. Friday night, back in action with the Modern Racing Prince.com FTF1 series with action from Chicagoland at 9:30. Then you'll have the Bar Visuals FTF Cup Series doubleheader. Saturday night, 9 p.m. It's the Chicago Street Course. Sunday, 8 p.m. the Chicago Oval. All here on the FTF.GG Twitch channel. We are off next week for the Independence Day holiday in the United States, but we'll come back 2 weeks from tonight from El
Eldora Speedway in Rossburg, Ohio, July 11th. Our start time, 8:45 p.m. Eastern here on the FTF.GG Twitch channel, and you will not want to miss these cars go out and on dirt in a race that could turn the tides of how this championship fight plays out. For our producer, Zach Johnson, for Zavin Cornelius and Ben Easterday at Core, for Jacob Hitz and my partner in the booth, Caleb Hoffman, I am James Pike. Thank you so much for watching FTF.GG's broadcast of the David Schildhouse will wreck you to win this race for the Core Summer Series presented by SimRapMarket.com at Charlotte Motor Speedway. We'll see you in 2 weeks' time from Eldora.